hear me? I said, that's what I heard in my head.
Baby, you know what time it is.
What time is it?
It's Studio Johnny Q time.
Studio Johnny Q time.
Baby,
Yeah.
you know what time it is.
Studio Johnny Q time.
It's Studio Johnny Q time.
I just said that.
That means it is time to drop your nerd drawers, baby.
Randy, start dropping drawers.
I don't know exactly.
I don't know exactly what that means, but it's sexy. Alright. Hail, let me see here. Get a ceiling shot. I think we're all good over here. Hail and well met, fellow time travelers. I am Johnny Q of Studio Johnny Q. Down here in our underground lair, we have Randy that's dialed in on Discord. Hello, Randy.
Oh,
How are you doing today, brother?
okay. A little sleepy.
Yeah?
Slept yesterday. So
You say you
didn't get any sleep last night because I was
hold on, I'm gonna try to crank
finally
it.
got it. If I couldn't.
Hold on a second, Randy. There we go.
Other than that, I'm spiffy.
Well, thank you for hopping on today. Oh, I thought that today, that if we can get Tater to join us, that the three of us can have a Witcher spoiler-rich discussion, because I finally finished it. But, so that's what I have
Hold on, let
planned.
me watch it.
You
I'll put it.
gotta put it in the background.
Oh, they added mod to Twitch.
They added what?
A mod view for moderators.
Oh, yeah?
Customizable channel mode that includes everything to moderate.
Yo, what's
And
up,
also, you
Tater?
do want- Tater!
Tater. Mash them, boil them, stick them in a stew. Potato. So, we were just talking about that Randy had discovered that there's a moderator view in Twitch. He was eyeballing that. But before that, I'd mentioned that I thought that today, if you were to hop on, that the three of us could have a spoiler-rich Witcher conversation. Since I finished it. And so that's what I have planned for conversation-wise, at least to start off with. And then with our miniatures, I think I'll be working on eyeballs. So I'll just slowly do a review of some of these things and then work towards eyeballs. So Randy, what was your overall take? I think all three of us enjoyed the Netflix's show. Is that a fair assessment for you?
Like, I want to reiterate you're talking specifically about Witcher, right?
Yep, just Witcher. Yep.
So, that first scene where he's fighting the giant spider, and he does the like horrible jump that is so obviously like cable work. I was like, oh god, no, please, please don't let it be like this. This is gonna suck so bad. Please let it get. And then luckily that was the only time. Oh, thank God.
What was it that you didn't like about that first battle? I'm sorry.
It was he was fighting the giant spider, and he had there was a jump that was like so obviously a bad like cable jump,
Oh,
like
okay, I gotcha. Yeah.
harness down or something. It was all like slow and just didn't look right, and it was like, oh no, that's not the way to open.
Yeah.
This doesn't bode well. Luckily, that was the only instance of it.
I must have blanked during that because I do remember when we first talked about
Other
it.
than
Like,
that,
you were like, first off, it's like, hold on.
yeah, it was just that opening thing, just that one jump in particular.
Yeah, that's good. Because I remember you said you're like at the very beginning. I was like, but then I was like, okay, and I was like, I was like, but we didn't want to spoil anything at that point, so I was like trying to figure out what you were talking about, and I never could. That's funny. Yeah. So, and also before we get in this, so Taylor wanted to mention that he had fun with the movie night last night, and he was reading that it is possible to stream movies from the browser. So we will look into doing that. And just for anybody who is listening in, we did a private remote viewing party via Discord. Me and Tater, and we had Papa Chubby and Shay and Randy, aka Shadows, and we ended up watching Pick a Destiny, and so we were all just kind of goofing through Discord while we watched it, and it was not bad for the first time. All this stuff can get tweaked, especially Discord. I'm not sure how to optimize the vocal settings for it, but proof of concept.
Was it lagging for you guys occasionally? It was sometimes it would lag and get janky.
It was hard for me because I had it showing on 3 screens. So, I had it on my PC, I had it on the Discord, and then I had it on my phone. And so it was hard. Ended up watching all 3 of them. So there was automatically a delay between like what it was showing on my screen and when it was showing on Discord. So I'm not the person to be able to comment on that, I don't think. But I did have where it did pause on my phone a couple times. It seemed, or once or twice, it seemed like I had to like come out of it and come back into it. But I
still need to get a new router. I still haven't done that. So I probably just needed to do a reboot. But I'd probably bet a new router.
But yeah, thanks to both you guys and to Papa Chubby and Shay for hopping on. Appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. It was nice just to goof around with a group of people.
I forgot how funny that movie was.
Yeah, yeah, I really enjoyed it. And then I could also see why it's like where it's good, it's really good, and where it's mediocre, it's really mediocre. But overall, I thought it was really funny and really good.
I didn't remember that it had the of the fellow stars, we'll say, in there.
Yeah.
All the other
well-known
people.
Yeah, and it's funny too because, like I said, I've been listening to the songs a lot on Pandora. They come up on one of my Pandora playlists, and at the end credits where he talks about he who is groovy shall be in my movie, and I always thought that was funny because it was like you need to see who the people he thought were groovy were, and what people were willing to hop in. So that was fun. I had no idea that hashtag spoilers that Dave Grohl was the devil. I never knew that. That is hilarious. And Dave Grohl, Randy, is he was the drummer for Nirvana, and when Kurt Cobain died, he went off to form his own band, not as a drummer but as the singer and guitarist for the Foo Fighters, and they've had a very, very strong career. Probably have like 10, 12 albums or something, and been playing forever. So. And the Foo Fighters definitely have songs that you would recognize just from being in the supermarket.
Yeah.
There Goes My Hero. That's one of theirs. There goes my hero. And there's a couple other ones that are...
Never heard it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, yes, not my crappy rendition at least, right?
Doesn't sound familiar.
And Tater, I was able to stream the browser. The problem that I was having is the audio. So if you find anything that has tips about how to get the audio, that's the part that I was struggling with. I could stream the browser, but I just couldn't figure out how to do the audio. And it can be weird because it's like with some things where I'm streaming, like with Discord, I'm inputting just desktop audio. So if I get a notification on my desktop, you're going to hear that along with Randy. But I did notice that when I was playing some of my CD files that you could send it to different outputs. So there's a lot of options, and I just wasn't sure. Figured it was possible, but wasn't sure. And yeah, there's some legality issues if we were doing this on Twitch, but I feel pretty comfortable with us doing as a private invite sort of scenario. And also we have the option too that I can do private invites through YouTube. So that's a possibility as well. But from one of the things that I was looking at in my search yesterday was that a lot of people were using Discord, so that was the one I was getting the most traction with. So that's why I look towards that. All right, let me here. I've tried to move some things or some lighting situations here, and let's see here. Alrighty. And Randy, I've swapped out the M50 with the ADD, but I don't have a power adapter for the ADD, so I'm going to try battery power, but my battery is worn out, so I got it charging. But I am going to try to, here in some point, try to set it up as a dedicated Zoom cam for the time being, if I can get it to work. You know how these things are. So we've got a whole mess of neat looking guys here. Let's see if we can give myself a little bit of space. And then I'll do a little bit of a dive. Oh. Let's see.
Did Ross Deadpool paint those?
Well, he looks over them at night, and I don't know, he might add a little something.
That can work.
He probably adds a little magic to them, in the nighttime. It's like the shoemaker elves, right? All right, let's see here. I am going to pull out our beholders. Okay. So the hang up is in Discord somewhere. That's what JC's saying. Yeah, that's what I was telling Randy before we started the stream, that I was having an issue because you're looking for stuff and it's hard. It's like, oh, this looks like the problem I'm having, but I can't find this thing that you're talking about. And then you look and you see that this note's from 2 years ago. So it's like, is it that I'm not looking in the right place, or is it that this is old, outdated information, or... And so I was having a little bit of a challenge with that. And so the best thing that I could find was to do a group DM. But even though you guys were members of my channel, we weren't friends. So I had to send friends invites to be able to do... You had to accept a friend invite before I could send you a DM. And then when you do a DM, then you have to initiate a video call, but you're not really wanting to do a video call. You're just really wanting to do a screen share. But you don't get that option until you initiate the video call. So... Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely have to look into doing that. Because I did have a lot of fun with that, and interested in trying again. I thought it was a real good movie for it too. I think it was silly and wasn't like, if you missed any parts of it, you were going to be too upset. A lot of us had seen it at least once before. Yes, I do too. I think that we can Wonder Twin Google through it. Agreed. And sometimes in those situations, like I found out, like working with Randy for so long, it's one of us is on the console and one of us is looking up things, and it's like, okay, can you try this? Can one person have to control one person looking up the info. All right, here, let's swap our cameras back here. I guess you get this. All right. So back to The Witcher, and yeah, I think my early thing from that first episode was like, my God, I hate the Bard character, and I agree. You had a pretty good call. It's like my feelings for him changed very quickly.
Cool.
Because it was weird too, because. And one of the things I think I most enjoyed about The Witcher was how it handled time, which was loosey-goosey. How it handled time, like there was one part like in between, I don't know, maybe like episode 3 and 4, and he was like, "Hey, it seems like I haven't seen you forever. Has it been months? Has it been years? Who can tell with time?" And I just
yeah. Were you saying that you enjoyed that aspect or not?
I did. Yeah, I very much did.
Didn't.
Yeah, because I hadn't really seen that, Yeah,
it's out and it's confusing at first because you don't, you develop if you don't know the storyline, especially.
Yeah.
It's even worse. But you don't know what the timeline is, so at least I did a sense that it's probably going to be flashbacks and stuff like that is probably a little discordant, and then it becomes evident eventually that is the case.
Yeah.
It becomes clear that they're jumping.
Yeah, I was confused a lot of the time, but Tater says it's funny because he loved the Bard, but he is supposed to be annoying. But he's endearing, and at first I just thought he was just lecherous, I think, and just a crappy person, but he's just a pretty good guy, and actually he takes a lot of guff from Geralt, and is
I'm not sure how good. Well, I think that, like, maybe way deep down he's a really good guy, but it's like really deep down. He's got to discover it, and that's going to be part of his process, perhaps. But he's got a lot of growth to do, and that they're getting out there in a certain. He is kind of riding it for fame's sake and stuff. So he wants the tale to tell the tale.
Yeah, but
endearing.
Yeah,
but he is supposed to be. He plays it well for sure.
Yeah, I suppose it is a challenging role, right? And to some degree. Let's see here if I can. But yeah, when he, like I said, it was like that first episode when he starts screaming abortion. I was like, oh man, is this what this is going to be? It's like, wow. But it's not like that. And it's actually, his role, I thought his role would be a lot bigger, but it wasn't. And here's another striking thing. One of my striking takeaways from it was that, what's the name of the female that he's entangled with? Yennefer? The mage? Yennefer. Yeah, Yennefer. Am I the only one who thought that she was more attractive when she was a hunchback? Because I think it's the only time you see her smile. She smiled when she was a hunchback, and when she smiles, her eyes would smile, but you never ever saw that when she was Yennefer.
She's more endearing, class. She is tending to be so, to the point that, like, I've seen her interview, and it sounds gonna be. I'm not trying to be harsh, but like, well, imagine I said something that I don't.
Between you, him hauling, and the breaking up, I'm getting none of this. I'm getting.
My nice guy took over, and I couldn't say what I was going to say.
Your public persona took over.
But I had problems Queen. They got invaded, and part of that, the part of the invasion and the battles, the way that they handled it. So much of that was like, really? You don't. I mean, you knew this was a potential thing that was going to happen. You didn't have any plan for that, except you kind of did, and your plan was just to like sneak her out the back really shittily, and just kill yourself. Like, there was a lot of poor choices there that seemed like it was kind of poorly written in my opinion. They could have done better. But maybe that they just didn't want to give it that time, and they were trying to advance the plot the way they wanted it as quickly as possible to get out as much as they could. I don't know. Just some of those stupid choices, stupid action don't make any sense to me.
Uh-huh.
That I see in so many things.
Right.
Where it's like, oh, here, let me do your work for you. I'm trying to connect the dots or provide reasons why this stupid thing that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, that's what I hate. I hate when you put the weight on like, well maybe, and it's like that should never be on the reader or the viewer, in my opinion. If they have to do that, then yeah, I feel like there's been a misstep.
That and with the magic, when they're having the magic battle, there was a bunch of stuff that's like, really? Like, you all know each other. You all know what you're all capable of. Why? You're alive, a lot of you. You're leaders for a long time, skilled in these things, and then they just make really stupid choices.
Yeah, and then also everybody just defaults to Yennefer being in charge, which doesn't make sense. I can't really see many people doing that. In that battle, right? Because it's like she's on top, and although I guess
the confusing element there.
And then it was kind of weird too, I guess, because her mama teacher, right? Miss Stick Up Her Butt. She, then she just like kind of was this fortress of like penetration, and then all of a sudden she was just like, I'm a horrible person, and Yennefer, you're right all along, and now you're. And I was like, whoa, what happened here? Get a hold of yourself. Have some self-respect. Her teacher, it was like she just, at first she was just like all strong and hard, and then it was like, then all of a sudden she just crumbled and she was just a mess. And it was like, you're right, and I was wrong, and this is all I have, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there were a lot of issues with that battle, I thought. Like, somebody acting like they have all the power in the world, and then suddenly, but then all of them saying that they know that they only have so much that they can spend, but they're acting like they have an unlimited amount, and they just waste it, and then they're like, oh shit, I'm out of power, and I put myself in the worst position I possibly could instead of planning ahead, and like, it didn't make any sense.
Yeah, the battle, it was odd. I will agree with that. And there was some things that was like,
cool.
Yeah,
it was still cool. Let me get this clear. I still enjoyed the show.
Yes, yeah, very much.
So
yeah.
These are just my nitpicky, like, I wish they could have done that better. And it would have been, extra top notch.
Yeah, I mean, especially for for it being on Netflix and not like an HBO type show, the way that they did it, I was pretty happy. I mean, fantasy has challenges to render well, and I thought they did a pretty good job. And I know that you said that you had a problem with that first jump, but overall, I thought the special effects, that was not a problem for me at all.
Oh.
I thought visually it looked really good.
No, it was just that one bad.
You know, there's some things too when you try to depict something like where people have, you know, some sort of superhuman power. It's a challenge to make it realistic, right? Like when somebody does a force jump in Star Wars, it always looks a little weird, looks a little wonky. And they talk about ragdolling, where they computer generate characters to you know, act a certain way, but they don't kind of follow the human physics of musculature and things like that, and so their limbs kind of flail all over the place.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have been much more impressed with the lead actor, though. What's his name again? Superman?
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill, thank you. I thought he did a really good job, and I never once looked at him and thought of Superman.
He is real ugly.
Mm-hmm. You found him to be. Yeah. I bet, Randy. He is awful harsh on the eyes, and maybe he should spend some time getting in shape. I don't know. Do a push-up or something, dude.
Yeah, right.
Was your mom being facetious as well?
Yeah.
Tater said his mom said the same thing. That's funny. All right. Okay, so I'm trying to see here if I can create a little scenario here. This gives you some pretty good shots here of our. That doesn't surprise me. Probably because of his dark demon eyes. He's of the devil. The devil.
Oh, she thought he actually did look ugly?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was sarcasm.
Guess she's not into dudes with white hair and dark eyes.
No, when he's like strung out on his potions and shit, that's different.
Yeah.
That's still
Henry. But I know that he's deep down. It's still Henry. She said it was odd. Oh, I would just love to be there and to see your mom have that conversation with Henry Cavill. You know, I know a lot of people like you, but your face is just kind of odd. Alright, let's see if we swap you out for...
What?
Any more words, Randa?
I found something that looked interesting. It was talking about the Witcher animated quill. I got a virus.
You got a virus?
Can't finish reading that. It was a virus warning. Actually, it looked like a one, like it was pertaining to the Windows Defender. It was like, don't close this window. It's important. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So here you can get a pretty good look at our guy in the base here, Randy.
Nice.
right, that was our elf. Let's see, here's our...
From GameRadar.com.
Did you say gayradar.com?
Games.
Games, right?
Games.
Okay.
It says the Witcher Netflix series prequel involves a story you could never tell in live action.
Huh.
How Nightmare of the Wolf sets itself apart from the live action. The writer for the Netflix Witcher series animated prequel Night Wolf has opened up ever so slightly about what we expect. This is the first I'm hearing it.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I knew what you're talking about, and then it was like I remembered it was the Altered Carbon that you told me had an animated thing.
Oh yeah.
Going on. Lower this.
About that. Just can't get excited. Seconds.
I'm still. Have you started the second season or?
I can't get excited about it.
Okay, yeah, I'm still trying to watch the first one on the big big TV. I just haven't had a good opportunity to do so. A little bit more. There we go. Get some good shots of these guys. And here you can get some good shots of all that different content that we have on the ground cover.
There's a Wolf will launch on Netflix later. And the article is written 20. What were you saying about those things?
Oh, just that with this shot here, the current shot and the lighting, it gives a good look at the flocking that we did. I was previously having a hard time getting a good show of it.
Yeah, the construction gravel job with having.
Yeah, and then on this one as well, I didn't do it on the heroes, but on the on these guys, I added some of this, Randy.
Is that cork or?
No, it's stone, and it actually has kind of a metallic sheen to it. So I sprinkled some of that into the villainies, and then instead I gave flowers. So they only got grass and extra rock, and then I gave flowers to the heroes. Let's give it a slight variance. All right, there we go. Swap these out. But yeah, I thought you're excited about. Say that again, Randy.
So I'm excited to see Nightmare.
That's the thing that you're talking about. You're cutting out a little bit. You said you were excited to see
animated prequel to the Witcher Netflix series called Nightmare of the Wolf. Will launch later this
year. Or this month?
Yeah. This is later this year.
Cool. See our hero looking very raccoony.
It says, says Nightmare of the Wolf isn't here to be a stopgap before season 2 either. Bigger. Mayo says it aims to tell a story we could never tell in our live action scope. Includes traditional Witcher fare and monsters and adventure, as well as the script, including certain it takes advantage of in animation can do. He goes into detail about things just look so much better. You try to do it in live action. See?
Yeah, I'll definitely be
And that
interested.
think that they just budget wise get away with. Sounds like a good time.
Yeah. Witcher animated. I'm in. You got me. Now, will they be doing the voices? Regular actors be doing the voices?
I would. I didn't see anything. But it is supposed to be part of this, so I would.
Part of their universe, so yeah. Well, that would be cool. Let's take a look here, Randy, at these are some of our larger guys. Oh, you know what? I still get.
The detail and colors are really popping.
Yeah, I'm happier with this lighting configuration. And also with the paint job. All right. This guy here in particular, he was the one where his eyeball, he's like a cyclops, and his eyeball I overpainted, so we ended up crafting some. And let me see if we have anything that we can glue in his eye socket. And welcome everybody who's hopped in. I see it looks like we've had some people that's hopped in, potentially hopped out, but Bloodluster, Noio, or Nogio, and Commander Root, Community Showcase. I'm not sure which of these might be bots or not. If any of y'all's real peoples, welcome. Feel free to say hi in chat. We're just discussing The Witcher today. Netflix. Although we'll talk about Witcher in any of its various and sundry forms. I did see that they have a big sale on The Witcher on Steam and on PS4.
Mm-hmm. Did you get the Humans Fall Flat?
I put it in my cart, Randy. I wanted to keep looking at the sale because there, when you had mentioned it, now there's another sale going on. So that was just in between sales. Like, the old sale ended on 3/30, so like when I was looking on 3/31, it was between the end of that sale and the start of April's sale. So, but I am going to buy it because that sale lasts until I think the 6th for that fall flat. So I'll try to purchase it today.
Cool.
Have you opened? I've actually seen that played a little bit before on stream. Where did I put it?
Have I what?
Have you pulled it open or checked it out at all?
Yeah. I played I'm still trying to figure out how to climb.
Thanks for that command, Tater. Appreciate it. All right. Dropping stuff on the floor. Now, one thing I did think that was a little bit caught me off guard, I think, was so when Yennefer was coming up, right, and back in her Hunchback day, she there was that guy that she was involved with. You know who I'm talking about? Randy?
At the school?
Yeah. Or, like, they weren't... When... Yeah, right at the beginning. When she was a hunchback, and there was the guy... Yeah. Yeah, wasn't she... It's like she teleported to him at the beginning, and he helped her, like, go someplace else or something?
Say it again.
I'm trying to reflect on the beginning of when they first met. Like, didn't she teleport someplace, and it was like the very first time that she did it, he found her, and he was like, well, she's going to be looking for you, and so wasn't that that was that
said, like, by doing this you have kind of made yourself
you pinged on the radar. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're on the radar now. And then, you know, you find out that, well, these guys are each manipulating each other, but it seems that they do have some true feelings for each other, but those true feelings are being dwarfed by their each individual's own ambition. And it seems that he regretted it, but you don't really understand why, I guess. He does, but they go through so much time that you don't see people's, you know, personal journey arcs, and you don't even know how long that time is, you know. But they make it, because she makes it seem like she's lived a couple of lifetimes, right? At the end, didn't she infer that she?
How much time has passed for when she, between the time she got her transformation and the time that and the end?
Yeah, that mage battle.
That's clear with the way that the time shifts and stuff. It's a little unclear exactly how much time has passed.
Yeah, but I thought that when she was describing it to the girls when she goes back to school, I thought that she had, or sometime similar to there, and she was.
Well, she went and served. He went and served a lord or something somewhere in his kingdom. So we don't know how much time. I don't recall at least how much time she spent there. So,
but I thought that she had said that she had served like generations or something. It was like not just one lord, but like she had served. I thought she said that she had served a couple of them. So
it says number, I think, is around 100.
Well, I'll take it back. Yennefer looks good for triple digits. Perhaps I was too harsh.
Yeah, they stop when they have the transformation stops, or at least
And so here was something that I wanted to talk about when we were when it happened in the show, but I couldn't. Was there is a really cool dynamic between Yennefer and Geralt's relationship, because neither one can trust the sincerity of the other, because he's under her charm spell, right, and her pheromone, you know, spell, and then she doesn't trust him because of the genie, and she thinks that her feelings towards him are because of the genie or the djinn or whatever. And he tells you that she still does it to him, because he says it's the smell. He says that's the thing that I hate the most when you leave. I have not yet played it, but he says that's the smell. He's like, that's the thing I hate the most, is when you leave, is I can't smell it anymore. The intoxicating smell that lures men to her. Cool. Yeah. I thought that I thought that was pretty profound. They mentioned it and they didn't harp on it, but I wondered if maybe that was more in the books or elsewhere. So that's interesting. And yeah, so you have these two people who are very impassioned and whose lives keep intersecting, and the way that they feel about fate and things like that as well. That and both of them have trust issues to begin with.
Yennefer, I know I'm ugly. At least that's what Tater's mom says. Could you ever love someone like me?
That's interesting. Cool. Yeah, that's neat. Because it's an interesting love dynamic that usually it's the love triangle, right? But this isn't a love triangle. This is two people that just can't trust each other. All right, man. I think I knocked all these little eyeballs that I made. I think I knocked it to the floor and I lost them all. So I have to decide if I want to. I'm gonna see if I can find a tiny little bead for it, and go from there. So give me 1 second. I also think it's interesting how the white wolf is always in demand and yet simultaneously seems to be despised everywhere equally.
The what? The what is?
The Witcher.
Oh, okay.
I said white wolf, but the Witcher.
Yeah, it's one of those things like, oh no, we need you. Please help us. Oh, we don't need you anymore. Get the hell away from us, you freak.
Yeah. It's like,
oh wait, we need you again.
It's like, F the police. Who's the first person you call when your house is robbed? Oh, all right. 1 second here as I check. Let me see here. Pull out some of my racks here.
How did you like the transformation that Yennefer went through? Like the whole ritual of that. That was intense.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like the depiction of. It's like, I guess fallopian tubes or something was a necessary component to give her upgrades or something, because
fallopian tubes.
It did not look.
That's cost. They'll never be able to bear children because they use that as ingredient in the ritual.
Yeah. They could also use Eye of Newt, but they were all out.
Yeah, they just decided we're fresh out of Newt. God damn it! I knew I shouldn't have splurged on that last spell.
All right, Yennefer, spread them.
That's horrible.
Looking in my things of beads, I think I might have something here. I've got. Man, these are still probably too big. God damn. These, let me see. Where is? What's that rating? Well. Oh. All over the place today. So let's see here, Randy. If I pull up one of these eyeballs. I hold this up. Yep, it's gonna be too big. I don't know if I have anything much smaller than that. I'll take a quick gander on that. Doesn't Geralt say at some point, like,
Why do you want to be a mom? You'd be a horrible mom. God, that's like the worst. That's like the worst idea ever. You are a monster. There's a reason they took your uterus.
I think she feels that too. She's just got that, like, she kind of wants what she can have.
uh-huh. That's the only reason why she wants it is because she can't have it. And because she's found everything else so unfulfilling that must be what she needs. Let me look for some more beads.
I'm reading this article about it. It says, for some of us, that will be enough. Henry Cavill can Geralt our Rivias all day long. Huh.
Randy, I'm not sure I got the point of what you were saying. Were they saying I could have taken that one of two ways? It sounded like by the time that you were saying they were done with him, but then it sounded like they were saying we'll take him anytime we can. Was it the second one or the first?
It's what to know about The Witcher if you know absolutely nothing about The Witcher. So Netflix, The Witcher is a show a lot like its protagonist. Large, rugged, not fond of explaining things. The fantasy epic stars Henry Cavill,
Packing heat.
Geralt of Rivia, a gruff wanderer, and the eponymous Witcher. For some of us, that will be enough. Henry Cavill can Geralt our Rivias all day long.
Okay, yes. Okay, I got you now. Wow. They can GRRs all they want. Grr. Huh. All right, let me take a look here. You know what? Damn it. I'm just going to try to fix it as is. So let's give ourselves a little space here. And oh, Randy, also, we can have mail day. We got packaging in.
Oh.
Let's take a look at that, actually. On
Can you spell that? Just so I'm sure.
Say that again.
Spell that for me, please, just so I'm sure I know what you're talking about.
Which word?
Mail.
No, well. Oh yeah, well, it's I don't know. Take it how you want it.
Just so we're clear.
Well, I'm going to be opening post.
Oh, okay.
So, but check your local listings. Your mileage may vary. Your mileage may vary. Your mileage may vary. All right. Let's see here. Randy, this is actually comes from Real Game FX, makers of fog products. So I think this might be our mini fog machine. Which should be crazy if it is. Alright, we have Dr. Gearsmith's Curious Steam Pod for tabletop games. Stimulates gameplay. Look how cute that is. It's like it's a snake oil sort of thing. You see that, Rainy? Ronde.
Yep.
Okay.
Two. I was saying stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
No, it wasn't. Wow. So. All right. Well, let's see if this is actually going to work as advertised. So I bought their Mach 1, which was several years ago. We had used it in the conclusion of one of our larger story arcs when we were playing D&D. And then I saw that they had came out with these smaller ones. It was supposed to, because one of the things I liked about the other one was it just used water, but it would leave a lot of residue on condensation.
Moisture.
Yeah, moisture condensation on your goodies. So let's see here. Do this. So we have a Steam Pod Solo. Alright. And
So, I didn't hear everything you said. Does this differ from a normal ultrasonic mister, or?
I'm trying to read here. You know, with the Kickstarters, it's often a lot of time between when you close, saturate the wick. Let's see here. Let's see if it looks about.
When you first told me you were getting it, they said it was supposed to help negate the issue of.
Yeah, I thought that it was supposed to. That's what was my understanding as well. Was that it was supposed to be a lot less moisture producing, and just smaller, and could run off a battery. Oh, if you're going to do this using power, then you gotta.
Well, this is saying it's steam, as opposed to.
Ah. All right. Well, let's. So the instructions are: you don't use. Oh, uses ordinary tap water. Do not attempt to fill without the top cap on or loose. You use approximately a quarter cup of water. You allow the wick to absorb the water for 2 to 3 minutes, and you press the power button. They've got a puffer mode.
Oh, it's got
Horizontal mode.
built-in LED lights give color to steam effect.
Nice.
Cold steam. Okay, so is it super fine? It keeps calling it steam, but it says it's.
So a lot of this is if you. Okay. appears that largely what you do is I think you just have it as such and put some water in. I'm curious.
Okay, it's not.
It's not really steam.
So it starts. It's not hot, it's cold. Steam.
Lies. Misinformation. Let's see here.
What's a LiPo battery?
A who's or whatter?
Potassium? LiPo battery.
Oh man.
Polymer.
Oh. Making a mess, Randy. I'm making a mess everywhere.
It says lithium-ion batteries are replaced while LiPo batteries are not used.
Yeah, it has instructions on if you want to replace it. Run it off of battery power, but that's not going to happen. I'll just run it off of a battery pack, a USB battery pack. That makes a lot more sense to me than doing what they're talking about. As I happen to have some of those lying around. All right. So we have here this. Let's go ahead and oops. All right.
It says you can aim the LED light up. So you can choose to light up. LED plug allows you color.
Okay, so now I have to.
RG.
You're breaking up pretty bad, Brady.
Huh.
I wonder if we need to adjust your mic sensitivity, if that would help. In Discord.
What?
You were breaking up some, and I'm wondering what adjustments we might be able to do to help. Okay. So that was, you turn it upside down, that's the bottom. Turn it here. Computer, timer, 90 seconds.
1 minute and 30 seconds, starting now.
That's what I said. Okay. And then it says it has one time for continuous mist. You'll see a green light come on inside. Push it a second time for puffer. You'll see a blue light. Puffer mode equals X, 8 seconds on and off for geyser like FX. Ooh. Vertical mode is the standard operating mode. Horizontal mode allows cool horizontal mist effects. However, the top cat keeps the seal between the transducer and the water compartment watertight, so you need to make sure the top cat is secure, or you can get water in places. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. Well, let's see here. I'm flashing back to Mr. Rogers. Do you want to know what a minute's like? Computer, stop timer. All right.
Can you control it with your phone?
Not that I know of.
Show. They have a picture that makes it look like that's what they're talking about.
I can see a little bit coming out. I wonder if we we're gonna put a little mood lighting on.
You know what time it is.
It looks like they sell other accessories that can work together. Talking about speaker pods to activate the light, Bluetooth speakers hiding, fits inside some terrain, is synchronized with sound.
Turn it off and see if maybe if I let the wick soak a little longer.
Oh, yeah.
Wick?
What? You say what? What you say?
There's a wick?
Yeah. Yeah, when you turn it upside down, it's like there's a plastic piece in here and you can actually see a little bit of the wick exposed. I wonder if you're supposed to... Allow the unit to sit for 2 to 3 minutes to allow the wick to absorb water before pushing the power button. And we had given it some time. That's why I gave the extra 90 seconds, was just to make sure that it had gotten Oh, there you go, righty. So I got it on puffer mode.
Puff, puff.
Let's see if I turn off. Computer, string lights off. There we go. Still not as strong as I would have anticipated. All right, this is one.
An aperture that you can change to allow more out? Because
This
that
is-
looks like a very fine stream. The pictures they show online are much wider.
Yeah. Something's not. I ain't doing something right, I guess. Let me see. So if we do, find where the power button is. And it did say, save yourself some time by checking out the such and such, which I, of course didn't do. So, all right, well,
Save yourself some time by checking out what?
by looking at the video, like the installation video. This is like the lamest rave party ever, Randy. Boots and pants and boots and pants and boots
You need
and
me to bring over one of my fog machines?
boots, pants and boots and
I can still
Fancy.
maintain a 6-foot distance and fog all y'all up.
All right. Well, I'm going to say I'm probably the failure point on this one. I will look into it deeper and we will revisit.
There's probably some adjustments inside that you can do with
Yeah.
the height of the inside piece to give more of a distance between where the where the steam is being produced as opposed to where it's coming.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right, let's give
And
us
one thing to
some
say
light.
about the ability to aim the lights inside at so
Right. Angle those LEDs more towards the fog. Is that what you were saying?
what?
Were you saying that potentially you can angle the LEDs?
That's what it seems to be.
Cool. All right. But I know that with the other one, like I had a problem. It was like, this isn't working right. And I did something. It was like, and then it just starts, giving you all your steam. Oh, okay, there you go. So I'm sure there's a conceptual gap that I'm experiencing. So that being said, let's come back here to our Philly here. And alright. So what we are going to do here is try to bring you down a little bit, baby. Stop your grinning and grab your linen. There we go. So if we get in here, let's see if we can accentuate our fella's eyeball here. So the first thing I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to put some red in, use some red ink, and then see if I can just have a strategically placed piece of white. I don't know. I just don't know. Okay. Let me think here. There we go. My watch is telling me I need to stand up, Randy.
What?
Get up, stand up. My watch is telling me, hey, why don't you stand up, lazy bones? I think that's very nice of it.
Looks like they have some cool range so that some light shines through pieces of the, like it says, smoldering sort of volcanic vent. So the light, you can see lights flickering, crack stuff. They've got
All right, let's see here. Here's our reader glasses. Alright. Sorry for I will be quiet during parts of this. I do not like working on the eyeballs. messing up eyeballs a good way to not stick the landing. The piece that you're working on. Stick a little bit of... Actually, I don't want to use this brush. This brush is too big. Oh, and Randy, I did these brushes that we've been using. I did add those as our highlighted gear and added them to the recommended gear as well. So,
Cool.
thanks for asking about that, because I thought I had them on there, but I didn't. But yeah, I have become a big fan. This is a really great starter set. Let me see here. Normally I like to use a brush this small, but for eyeballs, I want to. Going in with a little bit of pink, and then let's see if we get some straight up white on his eyeball. All right. You can see he looks a little more cycloptic now. Turn on a few more lights, actually.
Should be going to AFK. I'll be back.
Yeah, no problem.
In
No problem, brother. And take this moment to thank anybody who's on stream watching us right now. That's some different people hop in and out. Got Lurks that's hopped in at some point, and Atten, TMD hopped in. So thanks everybody. Feel free to say hi and chat, but also feel free to lurk. But please give us a follow if you are so inclined. I hope everybody's staying sane during the zombie apocalypse. Working on some eyeballs on these miniatures, and it's just not my favorite part. Not my favorite part at all. Alright, so that guy, I think, is first time up again. There we go, finally. Starting to see his single eyeball again. And once that dries, then I'll try to hit a light red wash on it to just give the eyeball a little bit of gradient. And hopefully that'll take care of that. Alright. So that was one eyeball that we needed to work on. Let me see here. So this guy has so he's got one eye that's kind of hard to see and one that's not. I think we did a decent enough job. Man, let me see here. I'll just put some red wash on it. On the one eyeball that you can see. Yeah, and all these miniatures will end up on thequasishop.com. Shortly, we've got some beholders that are coming out. These miniatures. Our dragon will be up there as well. Let's see here. Red wash. This is what I want. So I'm going to use a little bit of Vallejo red wash here and some of the eye sockets. And for this, I can use a bigger brush again.
Okay.
Okay, what, brother?
So I'm back.
Oh, welcome back. Just putting some red washes on some eyeballs. And I flooded it a little heavy, so just pull it out and damp it. I think he'll be good. Giving you the stink eye.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Whatever, liar.
Sure.
Alright, same thing. We've got our guy here. I'm gonna put some. We had previously stripped his eyes a little white, raccooned him up, and then we're gonna use a little wash, give us a little gradient, and bring it back down. Time for old man's spectacles. Put my grader glasses on.
That poor guy's seen some tough days.
He does not look he's been having a good time, has he? Yeah, this guy's I mean, I think he has some legitimate complaints about his current status. Oh, you know what, Randy? You said that now. It makes me want to give him a black eye. But I don't know I'm going to do that.
You want to give him what?
A black eye. There, you can see a little bit there how where he was a little raccooned out and is throwing a little bit of red wash has made that eye look a little bit more norm. All right, let's see who's next. I think we liked our zombie the way that he was, so he can stay, I think, as is. Our barbarian is Rocky Raccoon. He will be last. Alright, I don't think that we need to do... Oh, here's one I think we need. Yeah, this will be a good one. Our goblin fellow. He's got some big white eyeballs. So we'll throw a little bit of this wash. And the wash was just a little bit weaker than I wanted, so I threw a little bit of red ink in it. Just a dot in here. And you can see right there how already it's an improvement. And then what I'll probably do is come back and just try to just highlight white back on the, bring the highest point back out when it dries. All right. Our dwarven guy, he don't even have eyeballs, so I don't think we need to worry about anything with him. He can be as is. Skeleton, he ain't got no eyeballs. Don't worry about him.
Cool fig.
The skeleton.
All of them.
Oh yeah,
Really.
yeah. I'm definitely getting more zealot miniatures. Actually, I think I have one of their minotaurs I had purchased beforehand as well. That I was looking for an excuse to build.
I like the zombie dwarf.
Yeah. All right, he doesn't have any eyeballs.
I mean,
Yeah,
they're all cool.
Yeah, these are
Especially
some.
the zombie dwarf looks pretty cool.
Yeah, these are some of the best sculpts I've seen. They're like you kept talking about. They're really great poses, right? And great designs, but great poses, dynamic poses.
A lot of these.
All right, his eyes need something, but we'll do those completely different. I think he'll have like glowing yellow eyes or something. All right, so now we are down to our heroes. Our first one here is this dwarf. All right. Yeah, so last time we had just deposited a little bit of white in his eye sockets. And so let's see if we can put a little of this red wash in there. Softly and tenderly.
That one's interesting. See that often. Since he's got his arms up or back. It's all beat and act and belly.
What's that?
It's all beard, act, and belly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's dwarves.
Places hidden.
Yeah, his face is really hidden. I'll probably try to do just a little bit of highlighting on it before we call it a wrap. But his face is hard because it is so obscured. All right. Our elfling prince. So let me see here. I'm gonna take him off the camera here for a second. Burger. Don't make me say it again. Because I can't.
What is that Flava Flav clock?
That's awesome. Yeah, this dude's name's got to be Flav. Oh, that's funny. What time is it? Well, according to the clock, it's daytime because it's just a big sun. There, you can see a little bit of red wash on his eyes. How it just helps separate it from the rest of his face. That's a good shot right there, Randy. Just a little bit of separate. They lifts and they separates. It's important, Randy. To lift and separate. All right. This is one of my favorite one. It's the wizard.
Gloved.
Do you say glug or good luck?
Gloved.
Gloved. No glove, no love. I don't know what that means.
Glove.
But I'm sure it's
His
sexy.
hand.
No, I was saying I didn't know what I was saying, Matt, not what you said. I got what
Gotcha.
I was saying no glove, no love. And I said I wasn't exactly sure what that meant.
Have you tried the metallic wax? I'm talking about.
I'm not into waxings, man.
Tried.
That ain't my bag. Anymore.
It's like gold leafing, but the wax. Rub it on and rub it off.
You had me at rubbing,
Metallic.
or fraudage, if you will. That's a callback, Randy. Give you a little fraudage callback.
I got that.
I can't wait until we open up our business, the Fraudage Cottage, by the way.
It's a destination location.
What do you think, Randy, about those like hugging parties? Do I need to give you more words, or do you know what I'm saying?
What? Hugging workshops?
Yeah,
Cuddling workshops?
yeah. See, I knew that was enough.
I think they have merit.
Yeah, I think I do too. I think the older I get, especially, I think maybe the more I find merit in it.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said and a lot to be taken for granted. There's just like a hand on the shoulder. It can be so nice.
Positive physical, yeah,
Have that.
yeah.
You may not even realize that you're missing that until you get it.
I remember being at a funeral for a family member once, and that there was somebody that I was sitting next to, and they just put their hand on my back and just rubbing it, and it was just like, it was extremely comforting, touching feeling at the time. And yeah, there is something about that, and some people just never get any of that at all, and I think that if you do get a healthy amount of it, that yeah, you probably don't realize what it's like to not have it, right?
Yeah.
Hence
And
the
then
product.
of course people are like don't like it at all, or they're just too, for lack of a better term, it's not quite what I mean, but we'll say uptight, to be comfortable enough to accept it.
Yeah, that's true too.
There was it Russell Howard?
Yeah, I saw that you sent something from him the other day. I didn't get a chance to take a look at it.
Yeah, Russell Howard. I love him.
Yeah, I did too. You turned me on to
British
him.
comedian. He actually has a series where he'll take.
Can I interrupt you for a second? Thank you, Jesus, for giving us how. All right, go ahead.
Everybody's muffling.
Muffling. When he has the Queen doing the muffling, that is probably one of my favorites.
Yeah. I don't remember what I was going to say now.
He has a program.
Yeah, and he'll have guests on, and usually they're fellow comedians. And he'll go out and do stuff as part of the show. So one of the other comedians that I was telling you about that I became familiar with by watching 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown.
Mm-hmm.
1 second.
And
John Richard, he's really funny as well.
Let me pull up a picture of him to see who I can find out who you're talking about.
Cuddling workshop together.
What was that name?
It was like a cuddling coach or something. It was just that.
What was the other guy besides Peter Howard?
Like instructor. Russell Howard.
Howard.
John
Davies? John
Richards.
One more time. John Richards?
Richard's son.
Son of Richard. H-N or J-O-N? Okay, no, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
John Richardson's Loneliest Moments on 8 out of 10 Cats. The first rule of Perennium Club. Wash your hands. All right. So, now that we know that.
Talking about his, he got married, and baby, and when his wife was pregnant, she made him rub, I don't remember, like coconut oil or something on her
taint?
Basically. He said that was necessary and everything, and then had somebody else. Oh no, she totally played you. She saw you coming a mile away.
Hey, Dave. Yeah, we're getting ready to close out the meeting. I'm gonna need you to get a little bit of cocoa oil and rub my taint. No, this is just standard business practice.
What's that?
Dave, we're gonna at the end of the meeting here, we're gonna need you to get some coconut oil and rub our taints. This is just standard business practice. No, you find this anywhere. This is business as usual. All right. So our Conan the ball bearing is looking a little bit better, a little less raccoony, but I'm still going to have to hit right underneath his eye. I'll have to use a better flesh tone on it. So, but I'll wait till it dries. This was necessary. So I think with that we need to work on this guy's eyes. And
The new one I was absorbing was Taskmaster, another British that they have a lot of this on that as well.
oh yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of ripping the different. And what's the other one? QI. This has been hosted by Stephen Fry. And another guy.
Oh, Randy, I did get through the first season of Avenue 5 and enjoyed it tremendously. Yeah, but although I don't know if I discussed this with you, that I am enjoying it just as the show itself, but I'm also enjoying it as a metaphor for existential crisis, and I think that might be deliberate. It might be allegorical. Excuse me.
Yeah, I just couldn't get around the level of annoyance with several of the characters.
Yeah, because I think what happens, because this is my premise, right? The ship is a person, and all those varying aspects represent different parts of your personality, and the on this show in particular, you find out I can't say. But yeah, there's just a lot of things. If you watch through the first season, we'll have a spoiler cast on it. But unless you're not going to watch anymore, and I can spoil it. Okay.
Yeah, at the moment, I don't have any plans. So there's a thing where they're doing stuff, and you find out the captain is basically just a figurehead, right? Right.
And actually, you know what? Tater might watch this, so I'm not gonna spoil this. And I need a different brush than this. But yeah, there's a part where it's like, if you've ever felt like I am just floating in the middle of nowhere, totally off course, and everything around me is a circle of shit, then you could understand the metaphor. Talking about Avenue 5 with Hugh Laurie. And there's the crew that is the public facing crew, and then there's the real crew, and it's that they actually exist much deeper. And it's to me, it's
tell them about it.
What's that?
You gonna tell them about it or not tell them about it?
Yeah. But there's just all kinds of little things like that. All right. Yeah. Okay. So let's switch up our brushes. Yeah, and we also finished The Stranger. That was the one that was based on Stephen King book, and I really enjoyed it. There's an actress in that, and she was phenomenal. Let me see.
In what?
It's called The Stranger.
What are you talking about?
You know, when you sit on your ham until it goes numb. I mean, never mind. That's a different Stranger. Never mind. There's an HBO show called The Stranger. And it's based on a Stephen King book.
The Outsider? Yeah. Netflix, The Stranger, HBO's The Outsider.
Oh, thank you. Cast. Cynthia Erivo? She played Holly Gibney, and she was really, 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 really good. I really enjoyed her character. All right.
So which one are you talking about? Are you talking about Netflix, The Stranger, or HBO's The Outsider?
I'm talking about The Outsider. And I'm going to put her name in chat.
That's Justin Bateman.
Yeah, partially. He's in part of it. He directed part of it.
Pretty much anything with Justin Bateman.
Have you watched Ozark?
It's because no, I have not.
Yeah, this made me put that on my radar, I think, because I know Ozark has gotten a lot of. I've heard good things about it. It's just, I think it's going to be darker than I want, but that's, I don't know. Seems silly with some of the things I watch at certain times.
Yeah,
say that, but
not quite. The storyline there is not quite on my list. But I like him. I think he's a great actor. I like almost everything he's been. Crap. Arrested Development.
Mm-hmm.
You said you love that, right? And it got hype.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting.
It was another thing where too many of the characters were too annoying to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Not Justin Bateman's character. He was fine. Everybody else.
Yep. I hear you. Yeah, I could totally understand why somebody would Arrested Development not be their cup of tea. I can understand that. And yeah, when you're dealing with these shows that have extreme personalities, what sets one person off is, very individualistic, right? It's kind of a very relative thing. Like, I can't stand the sound of a fork on tinfoil. It drives me batty.
Of what?
Metal fork on tinfoil?
Foil?
Yeah, aluminum foil.
Yeah, that's your nails on chalkboard, huh?
Yeah, metal, like a fork on that. If you took a fork and a ball of tinfoil and you scraped them.
That usually doesn't do much for me, but I just had chills running up down the spine.
But yeah, it's... All right. So I went in deep on his eyes, and then I'm going to have his eyes kind of have a beaming effect. So I'm going to take him out a little. I'm going to go raccoon, yellow-green raccoon on him. And then when it dries, we'll give him a wash. But it'll, right here already, should be able to see that. Hey. Kind of hard with this light. Let me see if I can...
Did you watch the last Russell Howard clip that I sent?
No, that's why I said it. You'd sent me something. I didn't get a chance to... What was it a clip of?
Well, it's part of his one of his stand-ups, one of his specials. But it involves, I don't know. I tell you, just watch it. It's good.
Okay. Yeah.
You'll
You sent that to me through Messenger, I think.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to check that out. All right. So yeah, you can see there a little bit the yellow that's on his eyeballs, and again, I'll tone it down a little bit with some wash when it dries. And I think we have one other.
Looks
guy.
really dark on the.
Yeah,
Did the light go out?
I turned it when I have light up. It bleaches it out. But how about that? Give me about 10 seconds. Any better?
Still really dark.
Really? Huh. Did you turn your monitor off, Randy?
No, I'm still going through the Twitch the pop-ups about moderator stuff. Where it makes dimming. I turned up my brightness.
All right, so we have one last guy here, which is our entrail whip homeboy. And actually, I need to find his. Let me see if I can do that while I have him on.
Was Skeletor your inspiration for that one?
He was. I didn't realize it, but yeah, he definitely ended up being. I think it was unconscious at first, but then more conscious. So I put red in his eyes. So I'm gonna see if I want to, if there's actually an eyeball in there to highlight. I don't think it is. I think it's just a socket. Take a quick looky-loo here, but actually I also want to find his wings. Where did we put his wings at? So let's see there. I might have to go on a fact-finding mission to retrieve those. So let's just look at his eyeballs. Yeah, I think he's fine as is. And it's funny, we put all that brown wash on him, and how little of it you actually see. Oh, it actually really does a nice job still showing all the highlights on this gent. It creates shadows where necessary. Yeah, Randy, I think this guy would hang out probably at Wasteland. Which was a sex club. How would you describe Wasteland, Randy?
I never got there. I heard people talk about it.
Yeah, I've never been in any either.
I
But
think it had different nights. It was basically, I think it had different. And some were more sexual than others. It's goth. It's basically a club. Certain.
Yeah, what?
S&M night.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard it. That's what I heard. It was like an S&M club, and like you could find people hanging on hooks and stuff. There's an episode of Dave Attell's Insomnia where when he was in Columbus and he actually visited there. Someone's like, "Where should I go?" And he's like, "Oh, you should go here." And he's like, "All right." And I was like, I don't even know if I knew that place existed. I'm like, what? And he asked people, "Oh yeah, you ever heard of that?" No. All right. Well, Randy, I think that this probably would be a good spot for us to wrap up. We got through all the eyes, and I've kept thinking all week that I was going to get to them and didn't, so nice to actually have got to them. These pieces are now extremely close to being finished. Just a little bit of touch up on each one, and a spray to seal everything. And I think these are going to be able to go up on the shop after I take some photos. So yeah, thanks for hopping on, Tater, and thanks again for hopping on for the movie night and for offering to help try to work out some of those audio issues. I will definitely take you up on that. Maybe sometime over the weekend if you're free. We'll reach out and touch base. And Randy, anything before we leave?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, and just remind everybody, 2 things are never cowardly, never cruel, never give up, never give in. And also,
Tater.
Ooh, wow. That made me all tingly. And then also, as Queen says, take care of those you call your own and keep good company. And with that, we will bid you fair adieu. I said a good day, sir.
Take care. Love ya.
Love ya.
Ah.
Talk to you later. Bow. 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 Da bow. Da 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 bow. Da bow. Da bow. Bow. Da bow. Da bow. Bow. Da bow. Da bow. Bow. Da bow.